Today we are covering 100 most important questions of zoology. Stay with us, like the video, share and subscribe. Here we go. 1. Insects are characterized by 3 pairs of legs. Insects belong to the class Insecta under the phylum Arthropoda. They are defined by having a 3-part body, head, thorax, abdomen, 1 pair of antennae, compound eyes, and 3 pairs of jointed legs attached to the thorax. This feature distinguishes them from other arthropods like arachnids, 4 pairs of legs, and crustaceans, 5 or more pairs. 2. Body is metamerically segmented in Annelida. Explanation. Metameric segmentation means a body is divided into a series of repeated segments, both externally and internally. Annelids, e.g., earthworms, leeches, show true segmentation with internal partition walls called septa, which separates each segment. 3. Dorsal tubular nerve cord is characteristic of all chordates. Explanation. Chordates, e.g., fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, mammals, possess a single hollow nerve cord located dorsally along the back that develops into the brain and spinal cord. This is a key feature that distinguishes them from invertebrates, which generally have a ventral, solid nerve cord. 4. Opposable thumbs are a characteristic feature of primates. Explanation. Primates, monkeys, apes, humans have opposable thumbs, allowing them to touch the thumb to other fingers. This adaptation provides a strong grip and precision handling, important for tool use and climbing. 5. Differences in the scales of fishes and reptiles lies in their being, epidermal and dry in reptiles. Explanation. Fish scales, like cycloid, ctenoid, or ganoid, originate from the dermis and are often covered with mucus, keeping them moist. Reptile scales originate from the epidermis and are made of keratin, making them dry and waterproof. 6. Which of the following has oxygenated blood? Pulmonary veins. Explanation. Pulmonary veins carry oxygen-rich blood from the lungs to the left atrium of the heart. They are unique because most veins carry deoxygenated blood, but pulmonary veins are an exception. 7. Scapula is the bone of pectoral girdle. Explanation. The scapula or shoulder blade is part of the pectoral girdle, which connects the upper limbs to the axial skeleton. It provides attachment sites for muscles that move the arm. 8. All the digestive organs in vertebrates are formed by endoderm only. Explanation. During embryonic development, the endoderm layer gives rise to the epithelial lining of the digestive tract and associated organs like the liver and pancreas. The surrounding muscle and connective tissue come from the mesoderm. 9. Ammonia is the chief excretory product in fish. Explanation. Most aquatic animals, including bony fish, excrete nitrogenous waste mainly as ammonia, which is highly soluble in water and can be directly eliminated to the gills and skin. 10. Non-chordates are dissected from the dorsal side. True. Explanation. Many invertebrates, non-chordates, have their main nerve cord located ventrally, so dissections are performed from the dorsal side to avoid damaging the nerve cord and to expose internal organs. 11. Contractile vacuole in protozoa is basically an excretory organ. True. Explanation. In freshwater protozoa like amoeba and paramecium, the contractile vacuole pumps out excess water and metabolic waste, helping maintain osmotic balance. 12. Whale is the largest mammal living in the sea. True. Explanation. The blue whale, Balænoptera musculus, a marine mammal, is the largest animal on Earth, reaching lengths over 30 meters and weighing up to 180 tons. 13. Life originated during Precambrian period. Explanation. Scientific evidence suggests life began during the Precambrian era, about 3.5 to 4 billion years ago, in the form of simple single-celled organisms. 14. Louis Pasteur is known for germ theory of disease. Explanation. Louis Pasteur demonstrated that microorganisms cause fermentation and disease. His germ theory laid the foundation for microbiology and modern medicine. 15. Life originated in water. Explanation. The earliest life forms developed in aqueous environments, where conditions favor the formation of organic molecules and protection from harmful UV radiation. 16. Viruses are acellular. Explanation. Viruses lack cellular structure and cannot perform metabolism on their own. They're made of genetic material, DNA or RNA, enclosed in a protein coat, and require a host cell to reproduce. 17. Wings of insects and bats are examples of analogous organs. Explanation. Although both enable flight, insect wings and bat wings evolved independently and have different structures. This is an example of convergent evolution. 18. Archaeopteryx is a connecting link between reptiles and birds. Explanation. Archaeopteryx have both reptilian features, teeth, tail with vertebrae, and avian features, feathers, wings, showing the evolutionary transition between reptiles and birds. 19. Lamarck's theory of evolution is based upon all of these: effective environment, use/disuse of organs, inheritance of acquired characters. Explanation. Lamarck proposed that organisms evolve through changes acquired during their lifetime, influenced by environmental factors in the use or disuse of organs. 20. Absorption of digestive food occurs mainly in small intestine. Explanation. The small intestine, particularly the jejunum and ileum, has villi and microvilli that greatly increase surface area for nutrient absorption. 21. A renal portal system is found in frog. Explanation. In frogs, the renal portal system carries blood from the posterior part of the body through the kidneys before returning to the heart, aiding infiltration. 22. Touch receptors respond to touch. Explanation. Specialized sensory receptors in the skin, like Meissner's corpuscles, detect light touch and help organisms sense their environment. 23. Third ventricle is found in brain of rabbit. Explanation. The third ventricle is a narrow cavity in the diencephalon of vertebrate brains, including rabbits, filled with cerebrospinal fluid. 24. Blood from glomerulus returns by efferent renal arteriole. Explanation. In the nephron, blood exits the glomerulus to the efferent arteriole, which then branches into capillaries around a renal tubule for reabsorption and secretion. 25. Vital morphological and physiological units of mammalian kidney are uriniferous tubules. Explanation. The uriniferous tubule includes a nephron and its associated collecting duct, functioning in filtration, reabsorption, and urine formation. 26. Which of the following secretes oxytocin? Pituitary gland. Explanation. The posterior lobe of the pituitary gland releases oxytocin, a hormone that stimulates uterine contractions during childbirth and milk ejection during breastfeeding. 27. Longest cells in animals are nerve cells. Explanation. Neurons can be exceptionally long. In humans, some stretch over a meter from the spinal cord to the toes, transmitting nerve impulses quickly over long distances. 28. Function of centromere is to provide site for chromosome attachment during cell division. Explanation. The centromere is a region where spindle fibers attach via the kinetochore during mitosis and meiosis, ensuring proper chromosome segregation. 29. Which of the following has extranuclear DNA? Mitochondria. Explanation. Mitochondria contain their own circular DNA and ribosomes, allowing them to produce some of their own proteins independently of the nucleus. 30. Who gave laws of segregation and dominance? Gregor Mendel. Explanation. Mendel, through pea plant experiments, formulated the law of segregation and law of dominance, foundational principles of classical genetics. 31. The mode of nutrition in amoeba is holozoic. Explanation. Amoeba engulfs solid food particles by phagocytosis, digests them in food vacuoles, and absorbs nutrients, a process typical of holozoic nutrition. 32. Excretory organs in earthworms are nephridia. Explanation. Nephridia are tubular excretory organs that filter waste from the coalomic fluid in blood, excreting it through nephridia pores. 33. Foot is used as an organ of locomotion in freshwater mussel. Explanation. In bivalves like freshwater mussels, a muscular foot extends into the substrate, enabling slow burrowing movements. 34. Which group of animals is diploblastic? Coelenterida. Explanation. Diploblastic animals, like jellyfish and corals phylum Cnidaria, have two germ layers, ectoderm and endoderm, with non-cellular mesoglia between them. 35. Which of the following has a maximum mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood in the ventricle? Frog. Explanation: frogs have a 3-chambered heart, 2 atria, 1 ventricle, where oxygenated and deoxygenated blood partially mix in the single ventricle. 36. Reptiles are oviparous. Explanation: most reptiles lay eggs oviparous, though some species are ovoviviparous or viviparous. Their eggs of leathery or calcareous shells. 37. Urea formation in mammals takes place in liver. Explanation: the urea cycle or Nathine cycle. In the liver converts toxic ammonia into urea, which is then excreted by the kidneys. 38. Vertebrates in which placenta is formed during development of the fetus are mammals. Explanation: in eutherian placental mammals, the placenta facilitates nutrient, gas, and waste exchange between the mother and developing embryo. 39. Lymph most closely resembles plasma. Explanation: lymph is a clear fluid derived from blood plasma, but with fewer proteins. It plays a role in immune defense and fluid balance. 40. Archaeopteryx is a missing link between birds and reptiles. True. Explanation: Archaeopteryx combines reptilian traits, teeth, tail vertebrae, with avian traits, feathers, wings, providing evidence for evolutionary transition. 41. Trypanosoma causes a disease called sleeping sickness. True. Explanation: Trypanosoma brucei, transmitted by the tsetse fly, causes African sleeping sickness, a potentially fatal parasitic disease affecting the nervous system. 42. Echidna is an egg-laying mammal. True. Explanation: the echidna, along with the platypus, is a monotreme, a mammal that lays eggs but still produces milk for its young. 43. The body cavity in arthropods is a hemicoel. Explanation: arthropods have an open circulatory system where blood, hemolymph, fills spaces called hemicoels rather than being confined entirely to blood vessels. 44. Many humans become ill by consuming milk products because they lack lactase. Explanation: lactase is the enzyme that breaks down lactose, milk sugar. Lactose intolerance results from a deficiency in this enzyme. 45. Which process moves substances across membranes without cellular energy expenditure? Diffusion. Explanation: diffusion is the passive movement of molecules from higher to lower concentration without the use of ADP. 46. Respiratory pigment present in muscles is called myoglobin. Explanation: myoglobin stores oxygen in muscle tissues, releasing it during intense muscular activity. 47. Which one of the following is not a viral disease? Tetanus. Explanation: tetanus is caused by the bacterium Clostridium tetani, not a virus. It affects the nervous system, causing muscle stiffness and spasms. 48. Animals obtain carbohydrates mainly from starch. Explanation: starch, found in plants, is broken down into glucose during digestion, providing a primary energy source for animals. 49. Mesosomes are internal extensions of cell membrane. Explanation: in prokaryotes, mesosomes are enfoldings of the plasma membrane that increase surface area and may play a role in respiration and DNA replication. 50. Sugar in each nucleotide of DNA is deoxyribose. Explanation: DNA contains a 5-carbon sugar called deoxyribose, which lacks 1 oxygen atom compared to ribose in RNA. 51. Species is the basic unit of ecology. Explanation: in ecology and biology, a species is the basic classification unit, defined as a group of organisms capable of interbreeding and producing fertile offspring in natural conditions. 52. Which one of the following is false about AIDS? HIV. Explanation: AIDS is caused by HIV, human immunodeficiency virus, not HIV hepatitis A virus. HIV causes liver inflammation, not immune system failure. 53. Which statement about plastids is true? They contain DNA and ribosomes. Explanation: plastids, like chloroplasts, have their own DNA and ribosomes, allowing them to produce some proteins and replicate independently of the cell nucleus. 54. Which of the following is not found in all bacterial cells? Cell membrane, updated, correct answer, capsule. Explanation: all bacteria have a cell membrane, but not all have a capsule. Capsules are extraprotective layers found in some bacterial species. 55. A virion is a virus. Explanation: a virion is a complete, infectious form of virus outside a host cell, consisting of nucleic acid and a protein coat capsid, and sometimes an envelope. 56. The study of fossils and their relationship to the evolution of life on Earth is called paleontology. Explanation: paleontology uses fossil evidence to study the history of life, evolutionary relationships, and ancient ecosystems. 57. A connecting and supporting tissue in animals is connective tissue. Explanation: connective tissue supports, binds, and protects body organs. It includes bone, cartilage, adipose tissue, and blood. 58. The amount of lactic acid in muscles increases when they're lacking in oxygen. Explanation: in anaerobic respiration, low oxygen conditions, muscles break down glucose into lactic acid, which can lead to fatigue. 59. If a person eats more proteins than needed, this causes increased production of urea. Explanation: excess amino acids are deaminated in the liver, producing ammonia, which is converted to urea and excreted by the kidneys. 60. The growth of human population is most rapid in Asia. Explanation: Asia has the largest human population, and some countries with high population growth rates, contributing to rapid demographic changes. 61. Which type of tissue forms glands? Epithelial tissue. Explanation: glandular epithelial tissue specializes in secretion, forming endocrine hormone-secreting and exocrine duct-based glands. 62. Carbon combines with nitrogen in amino acid linkages to form peptide bonds. Explanation: peptide bonds are covalent bonds between the amino group, NH2, of one amino acid and the carboxyl group, COH, of another, forming proteins. 63. Contractile vacuole in protozoa is basically concerned with osmoregulation. Explanation: in freshwater protozoa, contractile vacuoles regulate water balance by expelling excess water to prevent cell bursting. 64. Gemmules are produced in porifera. Explanation: gemmules are resistant internal buds and sponges, enabling survival in harsh conditions and asexual reproduction. 65. Scales in reptiles originate from ectoderm. Explanation: reptilian scales are keratinized epidermal structures derived from the ectoderm, providing protection and preventing water loss. 66. Chordates are dissected from ventral side. Explanation: in chordates, the dorsal nerve cord lies along the back, so dissections are made from the ventral side to access internal organs. 67. Open type of blood vascular system is present in mollusks, note, except cephalopods. Explanation: in most mollusks, blood is not always confined to vessels. It flows through open spaces, sinuses. Cephalopods have a closed system. 68. Frog has the following number of neck vertebrae. One updated fact. Explanation: frogs have only one cervical vertebra, the atlas, allowing limited head movement, unlike mammals with 7. 69. The true jaw is not present in Agnatha. Explanation: jawless fish class Agnatha, like lampreys and hagfish, lack true jaws, feeding through suction or rasping. 70. Seahorse is included in Pisces. Explanation: the seahorse belongs to the class Actinopterygiae, ray-fin fishes, under the phylum Chordata. 71. Some sponges are found in freshwater also. True. Explanation: while most sponges are marine, some, like Spongilla, inhabit freshwater environments. 72. Coral reefs are present along the sandy coast of Karachi. True. Partially, limited patches. Explanation: coral communities exist in parts of Pakistan's coastal waters, including some areas near Karachi, though they are limited and under environmental stress. 73. All internal body cavities are not coelams. True. Explanation: Coelms are specific fluid-filled cavities completely lined with mesoderm. Other cavities, e.g., pseudocoelom, hemicoel, differ in lining or origin. 74. Mouth parts in arthropods are modified appendages. True. Explanation. Arthropod mouthparts, mandibles, maxillae, evolved from modified body appendages, adapted for chewing, piercing, or sucking. 75. The major part of the chordate body is mesodermal in origin. True. Explanation. The mesoderm forms most muscles, the skeletal system, the circulatory system, and other internal structures in chordates. 76. The echinoderms in chordates are enterocoelic. True. Explanation. In Enerosoli, the coelom forms from outpocketings of the embryonic gut archeneron. This developmental pattern is seen in deuterostomes, including echinoderms and chordates. 77. Giraffe and goat are similar in having 7 neck vertebrae. True. Explanation. Most mammals, regardless of neck length, have 7 cervical vertebrae. The giraffe's long neck is due to elongated vertebrae, not an increased number. 78. Mammals are characterized by having mammary glands. True. Explanation. Mammary glands produce milk to nourish young, a unique characteristic of mammals, along with hair and 3 middle ear bones. 79. Interstitial fluid closely resembles plasma, updated correct choice. Explanation. Interstitial fluid is derived from plasma and surrounds tissue cells. It has a similar composition, but contains fewer proteins. 80. If oxygen is lacking, muscles switch to anaerobic respiration producing lactic acid. Explanation. Without oxygen, muscle cells metabolize glucose anaerobically, generating lactic acid, which can cause fatigue and soreness. 81. Frogs excrete nitrogenous waste primarily as urea, updated fact. Explanation. Adult frogs are ureatelic on land, excreting urea to conserve water, but a monotelic in water. This dual adaptation helps in both habitats. 82. Pulmonary veins carry oxygenated blood. Explanation. These veins return oxygen-rich blood from the lungs to the heart's left atrium, an exception to the general rule that veins carry deoxygenated blood. 83. Myoglobin is found in muscles. Explanation. Myoglobin is an oxygen-binding protein in muscle tissue, allowing temporary oxygen storage for energy during activity. 84. Gemmules and sponges are for asexual reproduction and survival. Explanation. In harsh conditions, sponges produce gemmules, resistant structures containing cells that can develop into a new sponge when conditions improve. 85. The placenta in mammals is for nutrient and waste exchange. Explanation. The placenta connects a developing fetus to the mother's uterus, allowing oxygen, nutrients, and waste to be exchanged via the bloodstream. 86. Myriapods and insects belong to phylum Arthropoda. Explanation. Arthropods are characterized by jointed appendages, a segmented body, and an exoskeleton made of chitin. 87. The kidney's functional unit is the nephron. Explanation. Each nephron filters blood, reabsorbs needed substances, and excretes waste as urine. 88. Lamarck proposed inheritance of acquired characters. Explanation. Lamarck's theory suggested that traits acquired during an organism's lifetime could be passed to offspring, now considered incorrect, but historically important. 89. Frog skin is moist and glandular. Explanation. Frog skin contains mucus glands to keep it moist for cutaneous respiration and poison glands for defense, correcting earlier false statement about sweat glands. 90. Contractile vacuoles in protozoa regulate water balance. Explanation. In freshwater environments, contractile vacuoles pump excess water out to prevent the cell from bursting. 91. True coelom develops from mesoderm. Explanation. A true coelom is lined entirely by mesoderm, unlike pseudocoeloms or acoelomates. 92. Archeneron develops during gastrulus stage, updated fact. Explanation. The archeneron is a primitive gut cavity formed during gastrulation, which later develops into the digestive tract. 93. Snakes hear by sensing vibrations. Explanation. Snakes lack external ears and instead detect ground and air vibrations via their jawbones and inner ear. 94. Herbivores have flat grinding teeth. Updated fact. Explanation. Herbivores have broad, flat molars for grinding plant material, while carnivores have sharp teeth for tearing flesh. 95. Reptiles are cold-blooded ectothermic. Explanation. Reptiles rely on external sources of heat to regulate body temperature. 96. Vertebrates dissected from the ventral side. Chordates. Explanation. This allows direct access to the internal organs without cutting to the spinal cord. 97. Open blood circulation in most mollusks and arthropods. Explanation. In open systems, hemolymph flows through body cavities rather than entirely through blood vessels. 98. Monotremes like platypus lay eggs. Explanation. Monotremes are mammals that reproduce by laying eggs but still produce milk for their young. 99. Viruses are acellular and non-living outside a host. Explanation. They lack metabolism and cellular structure, becoming active only when infecting a host cell. 100. Small intestine absorbs most nutrients. Explanation. With its villi and microvilli, the small intestine provides a large surface area for efficient nutrient absorption.